So you are a Taurus and you struggle with people seeing you as lazy, maybe as unproductive, and things of this nature. Well, one thing I'll say is that I think people don't appreciate enough taking leisurely time and relaxing and enjoying yourself and not working as hard and conserving your energy. And this is one thing I appreciate about the earth signs, especially Taurus, because they understand this. They understand that it's not always about work hard, play hard. Sometimes it's about work hard enough and conserve your energy so that you can play hard later, or just work hard enough, conserve your energy so that maybe you can work harder the next day. Sometimes you just don't have to go all out, and I think Taurus understands this. And maybe sometimes this translates into laziness, but also there's something about Taurus I notice where they can be very picky as well, and this can sometimes irritate people. Or it can also, by the way, I'm in the car, so if you hear like a bunch of noises, I'm driving right now to go get some food. I'm starving, and yeah. But Tauruses can be very picky, so sometimes this can also translate as laziness as well, or just irritating to other people who are more take what you get kind of people. Whereas Taurus is like, no, if I don't like it, then I'm not going to take it. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand putting yourself first and your needs and your wants and your comfortability first. So, this is one thing I think people don't appreciate enough in Taurus. But Taurus, you have a friend in me. When the road gets tough ahead and a Taurus is miles and miles away from their nice warm bed, a Taurus gets irritated. A Taurus does not like that feeling of being away from their comfortability. So Tauruses do have a way where they can kind of shut down and, I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So I can understand it maybe coming across as laziness, but it's not always necessarily laziness, Taurus. So in that realm, it's safe to say that when a Taurus is outside of their comfort zones, they have a tendency to shut down, which can come across as laziness. But really, it's that Taurus conserving energy. So Taurus, when we put it in this context, the key for you is to always seek comfort in some way. Now, in certain instances, this for you, and I've seen this with my own eyes, like I've seen this in my own life with certain Tauruses I know, certain Tauruses I've worked with, certain Tauruses in my family. I have a certain cousin who's a Taurus who I won't mention. I hope she's not watching this video, but comfort for you guys can sometimes mean opting out totally of your responsibilities. And that can sometimes be an issue, whereas your responsibilities are something that you've agreed to in some way, shape, or form rise to a certain occasion to, always maintain a certain level of responsibility in your life, when it comes to your job, for example, or maybe your children or things like that. But sometimes Tauruses, and I find this with Pisces as well, have a tendency to want to escape their responsibility, to seek comfort from the mundane, comfort from the boring, comfort from actually working and having to work hard and deal with responsibilities. Sometimes Tauruses, they need that leisurely time. You guys need that time of comfort, that time to kind of relax and seek comfort, in a book, or seek comfort in Netflix, seek comfort in whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable. So with that, Taurus, I would say the biggest thing that I find, and keep in mind that I have midheaven in Taurus, so I understand this, energy to an extent. With midheaven, if you know anything about astrology, midheaven is our social status in society. It's our career, it's our professional destiny, it's our relationship to our father, and so on and so forth. So with midheaven in Taurus, interestingly enough, with my father was never one that was lazy. He taught me to work hard, interestingly enough, and he actually had his own shop, so he was an entrepreneur, which I kind of ended up following in his footsteps. So in that kind of same realm, I noticed that Tauruses kind of follow what they see around them. So, for example, if a Taurus sees someone around them who gets by living the easy life and gets by doing the bare minimum, a Taurus is going to find some way, or, try to find some way to live that same exact lifestyle. But the thing with that Taurus is that you have to realize that that path was designed specifically for that person to fulfill. Meaning that that person got to where they are by following their own path. So you have to follow your own path of comfort, all right? It's good to sometimes, take inspiration and motivation from other people in their path to comfort and their life of comfort, but you have to understand that your path is your own path, and you can make it by following your own path. Also, Taurus, it's important for you to live in the present, but understand that the present doesn't necessarily have to be your future. If you sow the seeds necessary for the present, to grow, maybe in the future you won't have to work as hard as you do in the present. Because that's what it's about for Taurus is working hard enough just to live the life that you want, just to live the life of comfortability. But the thing with Taurus as well is that you don't want to have to keep working to basically upkeep that life that you live. This is where management of your own time and practicality comes into play. All right, Taurus. And, I think it's important for Taurus to realize that, with hard work comes a lot of benefits. But it's also important, and this is something that you can take from your fellow Venus brethren and sisterin, Libra, that, it's important to have balance. It's not always about, all work and no play, or all play and no work. Sometimes it's about having a balance between the two. But of course, Taurus, I don't want to tell you to change yourself for anyone, because that's not what I want you to do, and of course you're not going to do that anyway. You are who you are, and I always, recommend and stand behind people standing in exactly who they are. But understand that just because some people see themselves as doing more than you, or having more than you, or whatever more than you, doesn't have anything to really say about you, but it has a lot to say about them and their competitiveness and their need to compare, and in that same realm, their insecurity and their ability to be grateful for what they have and to live in the present themselves. So I say all this to say that sometimes, Taurus, people will call you out as being lazy, or call you out as being unproductive to cover their own issues, to cover their own mistakes, to cover their own laziness, maybe even. Sometimes, Taurus, because you can sometimes be an easy target, people latch onto you and use you as a scapegoat. But the thing is when a Taurus finds their comfort, or their level of comfort that makes them happy, I guess is a better way to say it, a Taurus doesn't really care. You can bring whatever you want to a Taurus, and a Taurus will not be fazed, because they're comfortable in what they're doing. They're comfortable in the way that they're living their life. So I say all this to say, Taurus, find comfort in yourself. Find comfort with yourself. Find comfort in what you do and how you do it, so that no one can take that away from you. When you're comfortable with yourself, and when you're comfortable with your life and the life that you live, then that's all you really need in life, Taurus, is to be comfortable. That's why you work so hard. That's why you work the job that you do, even if you don't like it, or even if you don't like it. You're forward thinking, you're future thinking people. So never lose sight of that. Never lose sight of why you do what you do. To live a life of comfort. And don't ever let anyone take your comfort away from you. Because anyone that tries to take your comfort away from you shows that they themselves are in a state of discomfort. And we don't have time for anyone in a state of discomfort. Am I right, or am I right? This is coming from a midheaven in Taurus. By the way, this video is not just for Taurus Sun, although it definitely relates to Taurus Sun. It's also for Taurus Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, Saturn, 1st through 12th house, North Node, Chiron, Vesta, and all those placements in between. Basically, if you have Taurus in your chart, this video is for you, and I hope you got something out of it, alright? Thank you for listening and watching. Please like this video, share with your friends and family, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that bell next to the subscribe button so that you get notification whenever I go live or upload a brand new video. I would love it if you would share this video. Make sure you follow me on my social media pages. My Instagram is at Lamarr Townsend and my Facebook is Lamarr Townsend Tarot. The links are in the description box, and if you want a personal reading from me, I am a psychic tarot reader as well as an astrologer, so I can read your birth chart or natal chart as well as your tarot cards. So if you want a reading from me, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. I also do candles and spells as well. Alright, Taurus, thank you. Love you guys. Catch you guys in the next video. Love and light. God bless and no stress.